My name is Thea and I talk about things. Today's thing is regret. First, what is regret? Google says regret is a feeling of sadness, repentance, or disappointment over an occurrence or something that one has done or failed to do. So anytime you lie awake at night thinking of embarrassing things you did in the past, that's regret. Our minds make us remember these constantly in hopes we don't make the same mistake again. But surely I don't need to remember the time I got my foot stuck in a vending machine while I'm trying to sleep. Unlike nostalgia, regrets are negative, and if given an option to redo, the majority would maybe change a few things. Realistically though, your mistakes are a part of you, and removing that part of you would have some effect on who you become as a person. Like a butterfly effect, but instead you make sure you said organism in your year 8 science class. This ripple effect could have changed outcomes, or not, who's to say. I'm gonna go over some of my personal regrets. My first regret is getting it in my head that there could be a random glass pane in front of me wherever I walk. Sometimes I'll be walking and in my head I'll think, man, I sure hope there isn't a glass pane there I can't see, waiting for me to smash into it. While this is more of a fear, it still counts because I regret conditioning myself to learn it. Every time I go through one of those pedestals at the exit of retail stores, I worry I've accidentally developed kleptomania and secretly stolen something I don't know about. Kleptomania is a mental health disorder that makes people compulsively steal without meaning to. I learned that in retail. I might know where this fear stems from though. When I was younger, we went to Canberra on a school trip. We went to Parliament House to just go check it out. We had to go through a metal detector, just to make sure we weren't stashing a B word. When I went through it, the light went red. No biggie, just take off your shoes and go through it again. So I didn't know how to tie my shoes at this age. I get my mom to tie them before school, and instead of just telling them this, I just ran. Because the line had already started moving forward and I just ran to them. Which is the most stupid thing I could ever done. Although I was a small child, so I was pretty slow. But I'm surprised I wasn't lit up like a Christmas tree that day. What I'm trying to say is, I regret not learning to tie my shoes earlier. Sometimes I mishear what people say, and as I'm trying to process what they said, sometimes someone answers for me and I look like an idiot. At the dentist, I was asked a question. I had thought they'd asked, "Oh, where at?" instead of an actual, "Oh, what?" So as I'm trying to remember, my mom answers for me and now I look clueless, because I didn't know the answer. I regret not being able to hear correctly, I guess. I was kind of a cringy kid. You know those creeper hoodies? I owned one. Which is an overstatement because I wasn't owning it. We had a sports day and we would wear our team's colors. I was the best team, yellow, and for some reason I insisted on wearing a green hoodie over my yellow outfit. I don't really regret this one though, just kind of embarrassing, although I still do love Minecraft, so throughout all the changes there's at least one thing that stayed the same. I regret agreeing to go kayaking in year 6. There was another excursion and I had got my mom to sign a note saying I could sit out of having to use the kayaks. My teacher asked me on that day if I wanted to go, and for some reason I said yes. I had gotten in a kayak with a friend and 2 randos. Getting to the place was fine. Remember that we were on open water that led to the ocean, so anything could have been under us. Thankfully we didn't topple, but the way back was worse. Me and my friend were trying to row, while the other 2 guys kept turning left, so we just kept going in a huge circle. Eventually the camp people came to get us in their motorized boat. On our way back, he called us lazy under his breath, except I heard him. The funny thing is, me and my friend were doing all the work while those 2 guys were slacking off, and the nerve to call us lazy when he was in a motorboat. One last regret is inviting a friend we'll call Darrow to sleep over. Darrow was a guy I knew from school. I invited him over and we played pool. Except he was always in the way. And wherever I needed to go, he was just standing there. And you think I'm just being a sore loser, but this guy was always on his phone texting, and he wouldn't move when I was trying to make shots. I lose, obviously, and he brags to people at school, and I never told anyone. Actually, I may have told him during. One more thing he did is, in the morning, apparently he woke up and called his friend to talk about bombs and guns in the spare room with the door open. So my dad heard this and told me he had to leave. I didn't know this because I stayed up late and played games, because he went to sleep like at 8 p.m. So yeah, I regret inviting Darren, because now I can't have anyone over ever again. Having regrets is human. No one on earth doesn't regret at least one thing. If anything, these faults make you more human. Thanks for watching this video. See ya!